Now, why are we doing this Math Olympiad masterclass on ranking test? So let me just quickly brief you on this. As we all know that a lot of students do take part in competitive exams. That could be Math Olympiad, it could be talent searches, it could be quizzes, and so on. And a lot of teachers and parents do also look out for content based on these competitive exams. Now, what happens in these competitive exams is that students not only get tested on school mathematics, which they learn in school, but they get also tested on knowledge which is beyond what is being taught in school. And that primarily is the aptitude. And when it comes to aptitude, it's not just a single formula which you learn and which you apply and arrive at the correct answer, but it is about a lot of other things like observational skills. It is about the knack of solving a problem, and it's also about the shortest possible way of solving a problem. So, to get a better understanding and how to deal with such topics and concepts, we have come up with a session for today, and the topic for that is ranking test, as we have already seen. Now, before we get on to the live session, let me just quickly introduce to you all. I am Neha Chauhan and I am a teacher expert at Cuemath. I have a teaching experience of more than 3 years, and I primarily teach mathematics and reasoning to students who are in India and who are in US. So now let's quickly get into the live session and solve some interesting questions and get you all engaged in it. So here we start our masterclass for today, which is on ranking test. Before we dive into the video and work on some exciting, interesting problems, let's see what all do we have in the masterclass today. So we'll first be starting with understanding the concept, which is ranking test. Then we'll see what are the applications in our day-to-day life, where exactly do we see ranking test in real life basis. What are some objectives? Objectives basically would be defining the problems that we'll be working on. There would be different types of problems that you would be expecting out of ranking test. So those are all based on the objectives that we would see. And then we'll be solving some interesting, engaging problem. And lastly, we would come at the learning outcomes, wherein all of you would be able to summarize concisely what all have we learned in today's masterclass and what all we take away from today's masterclass. So here we begin. As I said, the first thing that we do is we understand the concept real well, so that while we are solving the problems, there is no difficulty in the core concept. So ranking test, all the parents and teachers who are watching this video would have a very good idea of what ranking exactly is and then what ranking test is. But for children and students who are watching, and parents and teachers who are watching it for your children and students, children might not have a very good idea. Like, they'll have a vague idea definitely for what ranking test is, but some of them would not have a very good idea about it. Now, why do they have a vague idea about ranking test is because they get exposed to a lot of ranking in schools. That is, there are a lot of competitions that happen in school. It could be sports, it could be drawing, it could be allocation, or it could be so many other competitions which happen. And then there, based on their performance, they get ranked. So they would have a vague idea of what ranking is. So to impart this concept of ranking test, what you should start with is to give them the relevance of where exactly is it applicable. Because then they would know the importance and they would know the relevance of why we need to study it, why we need to understand it, and where all we can apply it. So now we have seen what its relevance is and how is it important. Now coming to the basic concept of ranking test. This is the arrangement of a set of object or a set of people based on a criteria, and you could be arranging them either from left to right, or you could be arranging them from top to bottom. So it's basically arrangement which makes the set of objects and the set of people more organized, so that it becomes very, very easy for you to understand or to read or to have things in more orderly manner. So we'll just have a definition right here, which is a very polished definition. So I would suggest that parents and teachers do not impart this definition right in the beginning to your children, because then what happens is if you're giving them the definition first, it would more be like you're giving them something to mug up, or maybe something which they have to learn.
and they would not find the relevance of it. They would not understand why are they learning it, what's the whole point of doing it. So you first give them the relevance and the importance of it, and then you arrive, okay, so you see these are so many places that we see ranking tests, and that is why we need to learn it, and this is what exactly ranking test is all about. So now that we have understood the concept of ranking test, let's get into the applications. I've already given you some applications, but let's see some more generalized ones in which you can have certain other examples, particular examples. Starting with the first bullet point, it says rankings make it possible to evaluate complex information according to certain criteria. So you see these days the competition is so high, and there are a lot of students which take part in every competition that happens. So if we just give them the scores, and if you want to know the performance comparison, if you want to do, if we do not structure it, if we do not have an arrangement in place, then it will become very, very difficult to figure out every time to know which student with respect to which student has performed how. So depending on the scores, if you arrange all the students and give them a ranking, it will become very easy for the student, for the parents, and for the people who are conducting the exam to figure out who has performed how. And if you performed really very well, your score is really well, you would get the lesser value rank, and then vice versa. So that is one place, one example. Second bullet point is about, it says it is used for comparison between participants. I just gave you an example of that. So, it could be sports as well. Let's say it's a race. The person who takes the shortest time to cover the distance would be the first one. That would be the one would be holding the first position, the first rank holder. And then the second one, and then we have the third one. So these are different places wherein you would see, the ranking tests are being applied. The last one says the ranks are assigned to values on the basis of question. It could be either ascending or descending. Now, student also do get a lot confused on ascending and descending. So you can always tell them ascend means going up. So when you're going up, it means that you're starting from the smallest value and you're going on to the largest value. And descend always means to come down. So D for down is what you can tell them. So descend means you start with the largest value and you come to the smallest value. Now this comes a lot handy and a lot useful when you're dealing with a lot of numbers. And also if you would see in prayer meets, we see that students are arranged in ascending height manner. So that, and why are we arranging them in prayer meets like that? Again, to make things more orderly, to make things more organized, because if we have students standing haphazardly in prayer meets, what happens is that the student who is of shorter height would not be able to see what's happening in front. So it's always very important to have organization, arrangement in place so that things become hassle-free. So there, it's the ascending order. If you would look from the start, that is, you start with the student who is of the shortest height, then you keep on going to the one who's the tallest in the class. And it also comes in handy, as I said, in large numbers. When you have a lot of numbers with you, if you arrange them in ascending or descending order, every time if you're trying to look out for an information, it will be very, very easy to fetch out that information. So now that we have understood the concept of what ranking test is, and we've also seen some applications, let's get into the objectives, which will tell us, or which will set our objective for the master class as well, very, very straight. So these are 4 objectives that we have here. Based on these objectives, most of the questions come on ranking tests and competitive exams. So the first one is basically, I'll just simplify it for you all. It is, you have a set of object or a set of people in front of you. All you need to do is to, either the arrangement would be given to you, or you will need to arrange them either from left to right or from top to bottom. And maybe they would be asking you for a particular person or for a particular object to figure out what is its position from left or from right or from top or from bottom. So that is the first one. Second one is identifying the position or a rank of a person or an object with respect to the other person. So the first bullet point which we saw was very, very basic. It's just the arrangement, and you have to look out for the position or the rank of one object or one person. But the second one is a bit trickier than the first one, because here it is involving the position or the rank of one object or a person with respect to the other. So we'll get better insight or a better understanding of it while we be working on some problems based on this. But just for you to understand at this place, this is what it is all about. Coming to the third bullet point, what we have here is to identify the position of an object or a person after removing some objects from the series. So what will happen is you'll already be having an arrangement of objects or people in front of you. And let's say few of them get removed, a few of objects get removed. Then the positioning or the ranking of the other objects or the other people might change, if not for all. It depends, it's a case-to-case basis. It might not be affecting the position or the rank of each object and each person, but might be affecting the positioning or the ranking of the other objects, some objects for sure. So that is the third one. And the last one is about swapping. So you have already an arrangement in front of you, and you see that there are two objects which get swapped. That is, they change their positions. Then how does the positioning or the ranking of the other people in their vicinity or the other objects in their vicinity changes? So these are the four main objectives that we have, based on which we will be solving some very interesting and engaging problems. So I hope you all are clear so far and are with me so far in terms of understanding the whole concept of the ranking test. So here we begin with our very first question. So we'll first be starting with some basic questions, and then we'll be getting into some advanced questions as well, which will be more intriguing and would be challenging for you all, parents, teachers, students, everyone. For those of you who think you can answer it before I answer it, before I explain the whole concept, you can always put it in the comment section along with your reasoning, so that we know that you've understood the concept real well. So let's start with this question. It says here, which girl in line is sixth from the left? So what is very important here is to understand that we are only speaking about girls. The position is to be sixth. From which side? From left side. So the first step here is to mark your left and right. So this is left, this is right. We need to go from left and only with the girls, because we see it's a mix of girls and boys put together, but we need to focus only on girls. So this is the first girl, second girl, third girl, fourth girl, and fifth girl, and the arrangement ends here. So how do we find which is the sixth girl from the left? In such cases, you got to go round the way back, and you would see which is the first girl again. So this is the girl which is at the sixth place. So Arya is the girl which is at the sixth place or the sixth position from the left in this arrangement. So the answer is Arya. I hope you all understood this question. So we'll be moving forward to the next question. So I want you all to get more geared up and be more proactive in answering the questions. And if not, if you're learning it with me, then be more proactive in understanding the concepts. So this is the second question, and it's a bit trickier than the previous one. So let's understand it first. It says, science, English, and math books are kept on the bookshelf in a manner explained below. We have 3 books, and they have been arranged in a particular way. These are the 3 clues that they have given us. Science book is not the last book. That is the way they have arranged it. Either could be from top to bottom or left to right. It's not in the last. The English book is above the science book. Math book is not at the second place. Which book is in the middle? So when we say the middle, it could be like from left to right or top to bottom. I'll go with top to bottom. So, and it also says because above and below. So the terms above and below only get involved when you have top to bottom scenario. So English book is above the science book. So I write E here, which stands for English, S here, which stands for science. So because English book was above the science book, I've written it this way. Now it says science book is not the last book. So this cannot be the last one. So there has to be one more book which is below it. And the only book which is left is the maths book. So that comes here. And then that also satisfies this statement which says math book is not at the second place. So which book is in the middle then? We clearly see that the science book is in the middle. So the answer becomes science. Then we go on to the next question. And here we see that it says, which monkey is fourth to the right of monkey Z? So let's first locate where is monkey Z. So here is monkey Z. It says, which monkey is fourth to the right of monkey Z? So let's mark its left and right. This is left and this is right. So we're going to go, this is first, second, arrangement ends here. So as I said in the previous question, previous to previous question, you're going to go around the way. So this is second, this becomes third, and this becomes fourth. So the monkey X is the one which is at the fourth to the right of monkey Z. So your answer becomes option A. Hoping this is all clear to all of you. And so only we're moving to the next question. And it says here, answer the following questions based on the series given below. Which letter is fifth to the left of the first letter from the right? Okay, so it's a bit confusing. So this is left, this is right. So we first have to see which is the first letter from the right. So Y itself is the first letter from the right. And we need to find which letter is fifth to the left of the first letter. So we know this is the left side. So let's start counting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the letter T is the fifth to the left of the first letter, which is Y from the right. So this is the answer to this question, which is option B. So I think it's all going easy, and you all are able to follow it and you're all able to understand it. If you have any doubts, if you have any queries, do put it in the comment section and we'll be addressing to all of them. And here is the next question, which as you can see is based on the position of rank with respect to one another by removing one or some of the objects. So let's get into the question. It here says that if the clock and ice cream are removed from the given arrangement, then which is third to the left of the book? So what we need to figure out is which are the objects which have got removed. So we'll put a red cross on them. So the clock, which is here, and the ice cream, which is here, has been removed. Now it says which is third to the left of the book. This is the book. This is book's left. This is book's right. Third to the left. So this is 1. We are not counting ice cream because that has been removed. This is second and this is third. So the answer to this question is the third option, which is the dice. So this is how you work on problems wherein one or more objects have been removed. You just put a cross in them and then you don't count them. So that's how we do it. Going to the next question. It says, beginning from the left, subtract the third number from the first. What is the position of the number you get? Okay, so let's see. It says beginning from the left, subtract the third number. So this is our left. This is our right. Let's mark them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It said subtract the third number. The third number is 9. Okay, so we'll write it here, 9. This needs to get subtracted from the first number. So the first number, as we see, is 17. So 17 minus 9 would give us the answer as 8. So the question asks us, what is the position of the number you get taken from the left? So the number we got was 8. And if you were to count from left, the position of it is already marked as the fourth one. So the answer to this question is the fourth one. Now we'll move on to the next part, which is position or rank with respect to another person by interchanging the position. So let's see here. It says, answer the following questions based on the series given below. And it says if T interchanges its position with X, then which is the 9th letter from the left? Okay, so let's see which changes its position with which. So T changes its position with X. So here instead of T, we would write X, and where X is, we would write T. So we can just write it T. Okay, now it says which is the 9th letter from the left. So this is left, this is right, and we need to count 9 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So at the 9th place, originally we had X, but it swapped its place. It interchanged its place with T. So what came here is now T. So the answer to this question is option B, which is T. So this is how you solve this problem. I hope you all are getting the concept, the context, and the whole understanding of these type of problems. If you have any questions, again, you can just put it in the comment section and we'll address to all of them. Going on to the next, it says here, if dog A and dog C exchanged positions, which dog would lie 5 places to the right of the second dog from the left? Okay, so a lot of information to process. Let's see, where is dog A? So this is dog A and this is dog Z. So I would put across here, this becomes dog Z. I would put across here, this becomes dog A, because these both interchanged their position. Now it says, which dog would lie 5 places to the right of the second dog from the left? So this is left, this is right. Which is the second dog from the left? Dog Z is the second one, because this is 1, this is 2. Now 5 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the dog which comes 5 places to the right of the second dog from the left. And now, as they had changed the positions, this dog is dog A. So the answer to this question becomes option B. As we all know, logical reasoning inculcates the ability to think analytically in a child. They start thinking in an innovative manner. They also strive to get to the answer in the shortest way possible. And this is how a student gets trained by a Cuemath expert. And all of it is being provided by the Math Olympiad masterclasses conducted by Cuemath. And with this, I would like to introduce the TUCO registration forms. So every student who wishes to register to take up the real-time Olympiad examination conducted by Cuemath, please go ahead and click on the link given in the description box below. The registration amount for TUCO is just ₹200. The benefit of registering in TUCO is that you get a complete curriculum based on TUCO. And also, every time we have a class, you can join in and can also practice through the curriculum provided, which is worth ₹5,000, so that you get a good hold of these concepts. The schedule for these master classes, which are Math Olympiad based master classes, would be shared with each TUCO registered person. So make sure you do not delay and register yourself to get the most out of the curriculum which you get along with the TUCO registration, worth ₹5,000 just for ₹200. With this, we'll be going ahead with our master class and we'll be solving some advanced level questions. So let's get into the advanced level questions now. Advanced level questions, and let's see how to solve them. Okay, so it says here, in a race, there are 4 participants: Mary, Amina, Zamina, and Alice. Mary says, I have only one girl behind me. Amina says, Mary is ahead of me. Zamina says, I am not the last. And Alice says, I'm not the first. And the question says, who stood first? So let's see which information to start with. So we will start with the first information, wherein Mary says, there is only one girl behind me. So I'll just write Mary here. And there is just one girl behind Mary. So that would probably be telling you that Mary is the second last person in the race. Now Amina says Mary is ahead of me. And there was only one person who was behind Mary. So obviously that person now becomes Amina, because then it satisfies, both the statements get satisfied. There is only one person behind Mary, and in front of Amina is Mary, as it says. Zamina says she is not the last. So, because definitely Amina is the last. Alice says I'm not the first. So there are only 2 positions left. So this is the 4th position, this is the 3rd position. We have the 2nd position and the 1st position left. As Alice clearly says that she is not the first, so the only position left for Alice is the 2nd position. So we would write Alice here. And then Zamina says she is not the last, and we definitely have Amina for the last position. So Zamina comes in the 1st position. So the correct answer to this question becomes option C, which is Zamina. So I hope you understood this advanced level question. It is a bit advanced for a grade 3 or grade 4 student to solve it. So all you need to tell them is to go by parts, break the question into parts, because if you would see such a large question in one go, children might get scared. So all you need to tell them is that they need to break the question into parts and then try solving it, and then they would definitely be arriving at the correct answer. So going to the second question, it says, who is Ankit standing one step below? So let's spot where is Ankit on the steps. So here is Ankit, and he's standing one step below to which person is what the question is asking you. So clearly it is Sahil, and hence the answer to this question becomes option A. So here we arrive at the last question of the masterclass, which is the most trickiest question here. It says, in a row of girls facing south, Garima is third from the left end, Aditi is 19th from the right end. If 40 girls are in the row, if 40 girls are positioned in the row, then how many girls are there between Garima and Aditi? So let's see how to get to the answer of this question. What I'll do is I'll just mark a row like this, which is facing towards south. So I put an arrow here, and there are a total of 40 girls. So I would mark this as position 1 here, and the last is position 40. So this I can take as my left if I was looking at the row from this side, and this would be marked as right. So Garima is third from the left end. So I would mark 3 here, and this is where Garima is. I would write Garima here. And then it says Aditi is 19th from the right end. So 19th from the right end. So what you would do to find her position is you would subtract 19 from 40, so that you get the exact position of Aditi. So I would write Aditi here, and let's subtract 40 and 19. So 40 minus 19 gives us the answer as 21. So she's 21. She's at the place of or at the position of 21 from the left. So we now have a continuation. That is, Garima is third from the left, and then Aditi is at 21st position from the left. Now we need to count how many girls are there between Aditi and Garima. So all what we need to do is now to subtract these two positions to find the number of girls between them. That is, we do 21 minus 3, and that would give us the answer as 18. And so the correct answer to this question becomes option B, which is 18. And this is how we solve this problem. I hope you all got a good context of the ranking test and understood the whole concept here, and got really engaged and got really excited with the questions that we solved. So here we wind up the session, and we'll see you soon again in the coming classes, for which the schedule will get shared with all the parents and the teachers and the children who are TUCO registered, so that you can join in the time and get the most out of these master classes.